you guys doing? Nice.
Marvin, how's the offseason going so far for you?
It's been good. Good. Second offseason, kind of. Really, the first one I feel like it's kind of the first NFL offseason. So it's been good. Enjoyed some time off after the season a little bit, and got back to work.
Mike said that visibly he thought you bulked up. You look a little bit bigger. Is there how much weight do you think you've gained?
Yeah, I definitely put on some pounds. I think I added some muscle to my body a little bit. Still just trying to see my body, feel throughout OTAs and throughout training camp, more so throughout OTAs, and then kind of get a specific weight to settle in, for training camp and go from there.
Was that something you wanted to do, or did the team want you to do that? A little bit of both?
It kind of just happened naturally, honestly. I don't know, college I didn't eat as much probably, and then started eating a little bit more, having more free time, I guess. But I've eaten obviously all the right things, some extra protein for sure.
I know we're a long way from the regular season, but how do you think your new shape will help you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, always football's a physical game. A lot of contested situations, as well as receiver contested catch situations, run off the catch, and things like that. So, we'll see how things play out throughout OTAs and training camp. We'll see where that goes.
So it's kind of a matter of feeling out the new body, whether you want to come back a little bit or stick with it. Is that kind of accurate?
I mean, I feel the same, honestly. We'll see, obviously, more so like a health standpoint. You don't want to put on, too much weight, and then your body may not be used to it a little bit, so more so. But I feel exactly the same as I did before.
You said towards the back end of the season that first year was not necessarily what you envisioned for it to be. When you take a step back, and now that you've had some time in between now and week 18 of last year, how would you evaluate that first season?
Yeah, obviously there's always room for improvement, no matter, for me, every season, how every season goes, no matter how it goes. I'm always looking to improve, get better for the next season.
JG told a story earlier, or about a month ago. He said, maybe it was an off-season interview where he was meeting with each player, and he said you came in and handed him a sheet of paper of things I assumed that you wanted to improve on. Does this sound familiar?
Yeah.
Is this something that you always do, Marv, at the end of the season, just in your self-evaluation?
Yeah, I'm constantly evaluating myself. After every practice, I'm evaluating myself. I think that's just the thing that you have to do consistently to be the best version of yourself that you possibly can be. So I'm always evaluating myself, and obviously I take the coach's input as well, and we kind of come together and with a plan on what we may agree on, what I need to improve on. But yeah, definitely just always evaluating myself, and I just want to be the best way I can be.
I know Drew Terrell told a story late last year where he just wanted you to be able to go out there and understand that you were MFing Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
And that he wanted you to play with that kind of confidence. Do you feel like you did that last year, or is there a part of you that needs to ramp that up a little bit?
I think I'm a humble guy to begin with. No matter what's happening on the field, I can just be very humble. But I feel like I definitely do have a switch. I can switch on more probably next year. I think that just comes with being comfortable playing the game, playing at the speed of the NFL and things like that. So I think it just happened naturally more than anything.
At the end of last season, we were hearing from receivers, from Kyler, kind of from everybody of wanting more from the passing game. So what can be done collectively as a group at this stage in the offseason to feel different going into this season?
Yeah, obviously right now everything's on air, so getting the timing down, being precise in everything that we do. I feel like we should be able to go out there with our eyes closed and be able to complete 100% of our passes. Is kind of the goal that you want to be able to get to just from a timing on air standpoint.
When we talked to Drew at the end of last season, he said he didn't want to give you a lot of feedback during the season in terms of doing this with your feet or whatnot. He said he wanted to wait till the off season. What kind of conversations, what kind of changes or tweaks have you guys been working on since before?
Yeah, I think we've been in constant conversation. Just what do I like? What we're trying to do offensively. Obviously, for me, it being a new system last year, just kind of, okay, what route do I have? Not, okay, what's the defense? Where do you get to? It might be last in progression, it might be first in progression. How you want to run your route based on that things instead of just, okay, I have a dig. I'm just going to run a dig now. So I feel like that's kind of the next step that we're kind of taking now.
You had compared notes at all rookie season numbers. They're eerily similar, right? You had him in yards, he had you in catches, you had him yards per catch.
They're a little too similar in my opinion, but but no, it is. It works out in no mysterious ways how that all worked out.
Have you talked about that?
No, we haven't talked about it now.
You
Can you process last season? How happy are you with last season? How much do you feel like you left out there?
Yeah, I'm definitely, first and foremost, always blessed to be able to play this game that I love to do. I got to play pretty much all 17 games except for pretty much the Green Bay game with the concussion going out early. But just being able to play every single game in the NFL, as a rookie, living out a lifelong dream of mine, I think that's where I kind of start first more than anything. To kind of just go from there, but first be thankful.
We saw last year your chemistry with Kyler developed quite a lot from week 1 to week 18. What have you guys done this offseason to keep building on that chemistry together?
Yeah, like I said, routes on there. Just going out there, completing passes, getting the timing down of all the routes that we maybe worked on last year or new this year. So just us being able to go out there and kind of just do things, but like I said, with our eyes closed, it happens so naturally.
Have you guys done any of that work outside of this facility stuff as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
You kind of touched on it where this is your second year, you feel more comfortable. How much is that, you think, going to help you in taking that next step where you kind of know where to go, you're no longer a rookie, and you kind of like, know what to expect when it comes to the speed of the game and so on?
Yeah, I think, like I said, it just happens naturally more than anything. Yeah, but that's all I can really say. It's just more of a natural thing.
Fitz, so Larry Fitzgerald at the softball game the other day said that you can reach out at any point about anything and he'll be as helpful as you can. And then he was super complimentary about your dad, too. Tell me that those two guys have talked to you over the off-season, talked about your game, how you can evolve.
Yeah, definitely. Fitz is he's even a better person than he is football player. That's very hard to do, obviously. He's just a great guy. Talk to his son a lot. Obviously, talk to him a lot as well. So I know he's always there for me, and just whatever questions that I may have, I know he's always available. And I can go to him whenever I want. Very thankful for that too.
Management has spent, a lot of its energy, its time, its money during the offseason, improving the defense. And it seems like it's like, all right, offense, we're good. Like how much confidence does that give you that, even though last year wasn't perfect, they apparently liked what they saw enough to pretty much run it back?
Yeah, I'm very confident in what we have offensively from top to bottom, quarterback, the line, the skill positions. I definitely think we have everything we need to be able to go out there and accomplish the goals that we have.
You and Will Johnson are pretty familiar with each other's games. What was the conversation when you saw him around the facility or even after he was drafted?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys told you this story, but we actually probably went golfing about 2 weeks before the draft, I think. We were out here training at a facility. We kind of had an off day, and me, Denzel, and Will all went out golfing. He's a much better golfer than I am, of course. But just kind of pre-draft, that happened, and once the draft came, he got drafted here, and it's so crazy how that all worked out because obviously I was hoping he would come here. I know how good of a player that he is. So definitely thankful he's on our team.
How did he compare to some of the other college corners you went against?
Yeah, he's definitely up there. Definitely up there as one of the best ones that I've placed. Obviously him and Denzel, they're both here now. So definitely the top of the line as corners I faced in college.
Melton, I mean, is this a thing where if they face
I don't know.
you in college?
It's a Big Ten corner thing. I don't know. Obviously, they have a lot of good film. They were obviously watching me probably last year, and then obviously watching people who's guarding me. And then so I think this kind of works out like that.
What would improvement look like to you in year 2? What would that mean? More yards, more touchdowns, what would that mean?
First, start by team success. I think we got to make the playoffs. I think this is the year that I feel like we want to do what we need to do. We have all the pieces we need. We just got to go out there and execute at this point. That's why they brought me here, to help this team win games. So improving for me looks like winning more games than we won last year. What was it, 8 or 9 wins? So I think definitely next year we need to win more games. I want to get a home playoff game for Arizona. I actually went to the game with the Rams and Vikings. And it was just like, there's a team playing in the playoffs in our building. It just didn't feel right. So they brought me here to help the team win games. So I'm going to try to do.
Darius said that you and he had been here pretty much since the season ended.
Yeah.
Was that always your thought, that you were just going to kind of live at the facility?
Yeah. Once I got drafted to Arizona, I was like, okay, I'm good. Like, I don't have to go nowhere outside of the stages, wherever I got drafted to a cold weather team or things like that. So I knew I could always have my residence here and then train here whenever I need to.
How much time did you take off after the year?
I mean, not 0 technically, probably, but I'm always doing something active that just looks differently throughout the off season, but not really much time.
What's the benefit of staying here in the offseason instead of doing your own skill work and work somewhere else with private guys?
It's just whatever you feel comfortable with. Whether you play for, I don't want to say any team in particular, a cold weather team, you don't want to really be there January through March or whatever. So obviously the weather is very beautiful here, and I get a chance to stay out here out the whole year, and obviously work with our strength coaches that we work with during the season, the training facility guys. So just get a chance to be around people that know your body, and kind of just go from there.
Does that let you get more work with Kyler too?
Yeah, obviously we have limitations on where we can work within the facility, but obviously outside the facility, like you said, definitely we can do whatever we want to outside since we're in the same state.
The Rams-Vikings game, how weird was that for you, given just, in college you were used to playing big games, to go to a playoff game in your building?
Yeah, no, it was actually first time at an NFL game in obviously a long time. Just never really got a chance to go to one. So it kind of felt good to just watch from I was up in the, what's it called, suites. So I got a chance to watch from kind of a bird's eye view. Could just kind of dissect football. I'm a football guy, so I just like to watch football.
You're watching as a fan.
Yeah, the game moves a lot slower when you're watching it, of course, than when you're playing. So that's the one thing I noticed.
You were part of the schedule release, and it's early, but do you already have people reaching out to you for the game in Indy, or is it too soon?
No, I think that's definitely going to be a special game. Obviously, we had the preseason game there last year. I didn't get a chance to play in that one, but I'm sure that's going to be a special game for me and my family to kind of go back to Indy and play there.
You mentioned this being like a Big Ten corner, right? You got Will Johnson, Michigan, Cody Simon, Ohio State won a national championship.
Yeah.
These are you guys are players that are used to winning. How can that affect this culture where you guys are like, look, we win or lose around here?
Yeah, I think it starts with JG and Monty bringing in the right kind of guys, guys that are going to impact the culture in a positive way. And I think Ohio State definitely has their own culture. Not saying it's the same as Arizona, but Ohio State has their own culture, and we bring in guys that know how to be a part of a culture and be examples and leaders of a certain culture. It's easy to bring into this culture. Just, like I said, have a positive impact.
Are you guys competitive, man? Like the Ohio State wide receivers, do you guys hate the LSU wide receivers? Like, are you guys competitive like that?
I wouldn't say it's, yes and no. Obviously, everyone wants the title of wide receiver U, and obviously they have some amazing guys on their end. We have some amazing guys on our end too. Obviously, I'm gonna always be biased and say Ohio State's wide receiver U, but they definitely have a good argument.
I know you said you're not sure the weight you're going to play out in the season yet, but do you have a number for how much weight you've put on so far this offseason?
Not really. I'm just kind of feeling however my body feels. We don't have to weigh in really until, like I said, training camp. So just going based on how I feel for right now.
Mark, you've been in the weight room, obviously, but you've been in the film room a lot this past year, going from year one to year two. Where do you feel like you've elevated mentally on that side?
Like I said, instead of running a dig route, what's the defense doing, where am I going to catch the ball out, catch spot, just all those different things, where am I going to attack the ball after I catch it. So just thinking about all those different concepts before, I think that's the next step for me, just being more comfortable playing the game too.
Do you feel more comfortable heading into year two?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think that just happens with any type of time. You just feel more comfortable naturally.
Looking back on last season, what was the most difficult thing coming from college to the NFL for you?
I'll just say you just got to get adjusted to more so just the game speed of everything. Everything moves faster to the next level. So that's really it.
How excited are you that your jersey's actually going to be in the stands this year? Is that something you'll notice?
Yeah. A lot of people come up to me now just with my jersey. I'm definitely glad that we got that situated, and people can wear the 18 jersey. That's always amazing to see people support you, especially the little kids that come to your games and just be such big fans of not only you but the Arizona Cardinals as well. So definitely means a lot.
Kyler recently talked about how the communication aspect specifically was night and day from beginning of the season to the end of the season. And Saturday night, we see you guys holding down the middle infield together in the softball game. How has the communication between you guys developed?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great, honestly. Obviously, there's the on-the-field side, but there's off-the-field side that a lot of people don't see as well. He's just a great guy to be around. And then he definitely knows when to put the serious switch on and when it's time to go to work, on the field, he does a great job of doing that as well.
You were talking about kind of looking at the film of your routes from last season. Is there a specific route this offseason that you've been maybe focused on more than others to dial in?
No specific route in particular.
Thanks, Marvin.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.